If you're in a situation where your wife has come to you and she said that she doesn't love you anymore, and you know it's because you caused the pain and you did something that has caused her to feel this way, and you're really trying to repair the relationship and it's just not working, we're going to talk about exactly what you can do to fix the relationship and get your wife back on the path of falling back in love with you. Welcome to the channel, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mindy, and I work with guys to empower them with the right skills, knowledge, and mindset to transform their love communication style to save their relationship. So if you're trying to save your relationship right now, click the subscribe button and definitely hit that little bell notification button so you can be notified every time I release a new video. But really, if you're in a situation where you know you've caused pain to your wife, maybe you cheated, maybe you did something behind her back, gambling, addiction, whatever it is, and she's tried to process and she can't, and she comes to you and she says, look, I love you as a person, I don't know if I can get past this. I don't love you anymore. You're probably in panic mode right now because you're like, man, I know I messed up and I want to move forward. I want to rebuild the relationship and I want to prove to her that I won't do this anymore and that she can trust me again, but she's just not able to move on. And in these situations, it can be really devastating for you guys. And let's face it, we're all humans, and sometimes we make mistakes and do things when we're in long-term relationships that we know we shouldn't do, but for whatever reason, we do them. And we end up being very destructive to our relationship and to the person we love. And that's why we're going to really break it down today and talk about what exactly you can do. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're really going to want to start to focus on external shifts and internal shifts because they really go hand in hand. And external shifts are important because if your wife has fallen out of love with you because of something that you've done, she is now starting to view you as this man who's really hurt her. So every time she looks at you, she sees the man who destroyed her emotionally. And that's why she's having a hard time forgiving, forgetting, and moving on. And women might be able to forgive you, but the forgetting is really what you're dealing with, because we can forgive and we can let go of the resentment, but forgetting the pain and forgetting the fact that you actually had that in you and the capability of doing that, knowing it would hurt us, that's what's the issue. And that is what she's having a hard time with. And that causes her to fall out of love with you. And that causes her not to love you anymore. And that's what you're battling. So very first thing is to work on the external shifts. And I can say I have firsthand knowledge of what your wife is feeling and what she's going through because I experienced it myself with my own husband. He was an alcoholic and an addict, and he was hiding and lying and stealing money from our joint account and pretending he was using it for work supplies or whatever it was, and he was buying booze instead. And he would get clean and sober, but then he'd fall off the train. And so for me, when he finally got clean and sober and said, this is it, I'm not drinking anymore, I was feeling that I couldn't trust him and I didn't feel like I was in love with him anymore because he had hurt me so many times and I had heard it so many times. I was done. I'm like, I can't. And he really took it upon himself to do external shifts first and foremost. So he grew his hair out. He used to cut his hair every 6 weeks religiously, and he stopped cutting his hair. He let it grow long. And then instead of shaving, he grew it out. And those were just two external shifts that he did that really had me realize, oh, wow, he's really different because he wants me to see him as somebody new. And he said that when he started growing his hair out, he was going to be that person who was never going to lie again, because he had spent so much of his time, not just with me, even in his past, lying to fulfill his addiction. And so that was the first thing that he did. And that really did help me start to view him differently, because for a woman to try to forget the pain, looking at the man who caused her the pain every single day is not helping that, because we're looking at you and literally seeing the pain all over you. It's like we're seeing this big walking memory of this guy hurt us. And that's why external shifts are super important, guys. Make an external shift. Another external shift you can make that my husband did is you can go shopping, buy new clothes. My husband threw out his wardrobe and refused to wear the shirts that he wore while he was an alcoholic. And the reason for that is because he viewed himself as a different person, a person who was no longer going to be a liar or an addict. And he wanted to put on different clothes that the addict wouldn't wear. And when he took it upon himself to do that, I saw that. So now here I see this guy in new clothes. I mean, it's still t-shirts. It's not like he went out and started wearing Gucci. No one's got money for that. But the thing is he went out to Target and he bought totally different t-shirts and jeans and let his hair grow out. And he really focused on external shifts. So I didn't have to look at the liar and the addict and the alcoholic anymore. Instead, I was able to view him in the physical as a person who had grown and who was no longer the other person who had hurt me. Like they say, seeing is believing. So seeing that he was making these shifts really helped me believe it. And to this day, he still has longer hair and he grows out his facial hair. I think it's hot, but still. He still does that because it's a symbol to himself that he's not that guy who hurt me, and he's never going to be that again. And it really helped heal me. So that's why it's really important, guys. Focus on some external shifts you can do. Maybe grow your hair out. Maybe, different wardrobe. Just little external shifts that you can do will really go a long way in having her realize, oh, wow, he's serious. Because he doesn't want me to view him as that other man. So the next thing you want to do is you really want to work on your internal shifts. And that's why I say it's really important to discover your love lingo, figure out exactly how you receive love. Because let's face it, the reason you did what you did was more than likely because you were not being fulfilled somehow or some way in your life. It might not even have been from your wife. It might have been years before, like in my husband's situation. He's a words of encouragement and praise person, and nobody ever told him he was amazing or he was wonderful. And so the alcohol just got to him to the point where he drank. And then when people would tell him he was a piece of shit for drinking, he would drink more. So it was just this cycle. And it wasn't until he really stopped and he discovered, okay, what do I need? What do I need? What am I lacking? What's going on with me? And we discovered and came up with love lingo and love jargon together because he really focused on what's caused me to be this addict even before I met Mindy. What's caused me to have this inside me? And it's the same thing with you guys. What caused you to do it? Were you bored in your relationship? Are you just bored? Are you lonely? Are you not being fulfilled? What is it that you're lacking that's caused you to hurt the person that loves you the most? It's something. If you cannot identify that, you cannot ensure that you won't do it again, because it starts from within. Like in my husband's situation, he was a words of encouragement and praise person, and that's never what he had growing up. And in no relationship did he ever have anyone tell him, great job, I think you're awesome. Little things like that really caused his self-esteem to get really depleted and to really cause him to go inside of himself. And he started becoming very destructive. And you won't think to yourself, well, all of that is because he needed to be filled up in a certain way. But yeah, a lot of us have love tanks that need to be filled in a certain way. And if we are not fulfilled, we lash out and we do things that we know are wrong and that we shouldn't be doing because we are not emotionally fulfilled. And that's why internal shift, you always start with discovering how you receive love. what's your love lingo? Take the quiz, it's in the description of the video, and discover how you need to be filled up. And then ask yourself, truly ask yourself, were you being fulfilled in your relationship? Were you not being fulfilled in other places? And that's why you did what you did. Very important to first start on how you're fulfilled emotionally. In no means is this meant to blame your wife for your actions, because your wife doesn't know how you're filled up. And if you were not able to communicate to her that these are the things that you need and that you were lacking, and she had no idea, how is she going to fill you up? Because being filled emotionally really solves a lot of these problems. You're seeking whatever you're seeking, or you did whatever you did because you were lacking. So you really need to focus on what were you lacking, why were you lacking it, were you being emotionally fulfilled? So that's where you start. And then once you realize, okay, this is how I'm filled up, you can start to analyze in that logical brain of yours if you were being filled enough by your partner. And then what you do is you send the Love Lingo quiz to her and you ask her to take it. Because chances are when you're off doing these things that are detrimental to the relationship, you weren't fulfilling her either. And because you weren't fulfilling her, why is she going to turn around and fulfill you? Which just compounds it and makes it worse. So that's why I say you always start by discovering your love lingo. And then once you've discovered your love lingo, it's important to shift your love jargon as well. So you've made these external shifts and you are presenting yourself as a different person so your wife can see it, because like I said, seeing is believing. But now it's important to alter your love jargon, and that's how you show love. Now once your wife has taken the Love Lingo quiz, you start looking at the top 3 ways she receives love and you start love bombing her. Now love bombing gets a really bad term, and I hate that because people will say, oh, well, they love bombed me in the beginning of the relationship and they stopped love bombing me. Well, yeah, in the beginning of the relationship, we're so high on serotonin and dopamine from being with this new person that we're automatically offering all of the love in the ways that they need to be filled up. And so, of course, you're love bombing, and then you naturally, slowly only start to offer the love that's natural to you. And so that's why I say love bomber. My husband and I still love bomb each other. Now that we've been able to get through that really hard time, we have learned the importance of continuous love bombing. Because once you start trying to win her back, you will win her back. And once you start love bombing her, she's going to start to feel really good. So now she's got this guy who externally looks different, who's treating her really amazingly. And it's going to slowly help her get to the point where she is able to drop those walls that she's built around her heart, and she's going to be able to slowly allow herself to move forward. So now the last thing that you're going to want to do in order to repair this relationship is you're going to need to have patience and realize it's going to take a lot of time. She might be able to forgive you, but all forgiveness is letting go of resentment. It doesn't mean she forgot. And I think a lot of us get confused that if somebody forgives us, we automatically think that means everything's okay. Oh, well, they forgave me. Why are they bringing this up in a fight if they really forgave me? Well, it's because they didn't forget. The forgetting is what takes the time. The forgetting is what you are striving to get her brain to do. You've got to get past that pain and that hurt to get her to forget. And that's why external shifts are important, because it helps her forget. That's why love bombing her and all of a sudden giving her the love that more than likely she was lacking, that's going to help her forget. Because that old dude more than likely wasn't doing those things for her, because instead he was off doing whatever it was, hiding, lying, cheating, stealing, whatever it was that he was doing that caused her to fall out of love with you. Chances are you weren't love bombing her. You weren't making her feel good. You weren't making her feel special, and you weren't making her feel loved. So, gotta start doing that. This could take 6 months to a couple years, depending on the severity of how much you've hurt her. And that's okay. Forgetting is what takes time. So have the patience. Don't be defensive. Don't get angry. Really important to be stoic. And if she comes to you and she feels that she needs to lash out or she needs to be emotional, just remember it's coming from a place of pain. It's coming because she cares so much. She's hurt so much. You've hurt her so much that she's angry. She's got to get it out. And it's important for you guys to remember you need to let her get it out. And you don't get defensive. You don't get angry. You just tell her you're so sorry. You understand how you made her feel. And you'll never do it again. And then, guys, really work on making sure you never hurt her again. Because if you start doing all of these shifts, but then you go back to those bad habits, you're going to destroy your relationship. So really, don't do this out of being manipulative and trying to just win her back for some instant gratification so things can be okay again in the moment. If you can do all of these things, you'll be able to repair your relationship and get her to forgetting about the pain and forgetting about the man who really hurt her. And that's how you're going to win your relationship back. And that's how your wife is going to fall back in love with you. So I really hope you guys like this video. If you do, hit the like button and definitely the little bell notification button so you can be notified every time I release a new video. And as always, everyone, stay happy, stay healthy, and let's focus on staying in love.